Welcome back, South and Chile4. So today we're going to be playing Kaiserredux as Argentina. So yeah, we are going to be doing some pretty interesting doing path. Got Manuel Carlos in charge. We have the inter-service rivalry, so that Japanese spirit. Either prioritize navy, you prioritize army. We basically have that in Argentina. And we got military cliques, and then we also have woes of the Christmas coup. Minus 90 division organization. We have a single division. We have less divisions than Paraguay. Heck, we have less divisions than these freaking German colonies over here. We have a single division, and it's a marine division, and it's terrible. It's terrible. We do have a pretty mighty Argentina navy, if I be honest. We got 2 heavy hulls. We got 3 armor cruisers. We got 2 coastal ships. We got a bunch of light ships and some submarine, and we got some decent admirals like this guy who looks like he's praying to God, because man, am I praying to God for this playthrough. Alright, so we have 4 military factories. Interestingly enough, one of them is on planes. I don't know why, but it is. But we're going to be making infantry equipment. We're going to have support equipment research, and we're going to research basic machine tools, construction, and the engineering tech. Alright, so we got a previous comment discussing that we should try to either get Carlos or Juan Perón or something. So we're going to see about that. I will attempt to get Juan Perón. I'm not really sure who he is. We got our basic industry stuff. We got the Christmas coup stuff, which... you know, we gotta fix the country. We're gonna make Argentina great again. We're gonna make Argentina great again. Now, interestingly enough, we do not control South Argentina. However, we do control Tierra del Fuego, and we also control the Falklands already, which UK ain't me UKing anymore, because they lost the First World War, and in turn, they lost most of their overseas colonies, so that is exactly why we control the Falklands. And to be honest, there isn't really that much resistance they could put against us. What we're going to build, you ask? Well, we're just going to probably build military factories, because I don't think we're going to have time to build anything else. And I can't build in any state outside of Buenos Aires anyway, because everything is demilitarized outside of that. Argentina was enjoying a booming and fast-growing economic prowess based on its meat and cereal exports. Immigrants from all over Europe flooded towards the Republic. We got many engineers and useful people, and vigorous entrepreneurship and nascent industry quickly propelled Argentina forward as one of the most prosperous nations on the planet, making us great again. Trade relations were secure, and exports to the United Kingdom and Germany kept increasing. When the World Creek, however, struck, Argentina was forced into neutrality, unwilling to side with either. So we were forced to enforce an embargo on Germany, while we tried to circumvent this by selling through third countries. As the last year approached, it became apparent that the UK was fighting a losing fight and ordered the Argentina government and companies to ramp up production and export the nation to the fullest. Alright, so as it stands in January 36, we're in the middle of our attempted coup. So this guy technically still isn't leader. He's attempting to be leader, but he still hasn't couped the government. So this is why everything's like demilitarized, I'm guessing, because everything kind of happened prior to us entering this strange and wonderful universe of Kaiserredux. Brazilian denouncement. Brazilian leaderships denounced our government as illegitimate in a blatant attempt to discredit our revolution. Our escalation is unlikely. This is an unprecedented breakdown in relations. Okay, so Brazil hates us now. I can't wait to play Brazil. Brazil looks fun. Like, you've got a bunch of different paths. Anyway, if you've got any ideas what we should do for this next nation, feel free to leave your ideas down in the comments. This could be goals, it could be objectives, paths, for instance. Are you kidding me? This is the only template we have. The marine template is the only template we have. That's insane. Okay, so that's been completed, so we can found the GNA, or we can deal with the situation on our own. I guess we'll deal with the situation on our own. We'll consolidate the GBA's capital region. I'm not even sure how you get Perón, to be honest, because there is no path guide explicitly stating how to get it. It's just this stupid meme path pop-up, which doesn't really help us. And yeah, to make matters worse, we've been hit by Black Monday, and this economy, well, it's about to no longer exist as soon as this event goes off. It's still alright, actually. I mean, could be worse. I thought we'd have lost way more civs. Closure of the Bolsa de Comercio. So we can close it, or the free market will fix this. Ah, yes, the free market will indeed fix it. We're fine. We're completely fine. We could do our first 5-year plan to make Black Monday slightly better for us. And we could cut the budgets later on. Man, I love Argentina. It reminds me a lot of back home at the UK, honestly. Especially the budget cuts. But yeah, I can't believe we're already almost off the A's. We only have a few nations left on the A's. I think we got Austria and a few others. I know Austria is definitely one. So we do have the Armenia playthrough. Well, it isn't on the map. It's technically Vilayet of Erevan, but, you know, it is Armenia technically, so that is what we're going to be doing. Probably not going to be Very fun with such a tiny nation with so many threats on our borders. And then we have Assyria, which literally doesn't exist as our nation after that. And close the currency board. For most of our history, the currency board has tied the peso to a gold standard where an organ called the Kaja, their conversion, was tasked with maintaining the value of our currency. With stocks plummeting and Germany taking decisive action to soften the blow, our exports has lost their competitive edge and are going to be struggling to compete with cheap Eastern European and domestic German products. Therefore, a proposal was offered to close the currency board and abandon the gold standard, letting the peso devaluate and making our products therefore competitive again. So I guess we're doing something like FDR did. We're banning the gold standard. So yeah, we're gonna close the board. I do have to wonder though, when this war is over in Germany, well, when it starts and when it is over, are the Germans gonna come to visit us in Argentina? Or are we going to get any flavor events for that, do you think, guys? Make your predictions. Anyway, we're going to control the railroads and control the judiciaries, but we're going to control the judiciaries first. Intervention in the judiciary branch, so the old system is outdated and corrupt, and replace the high court. And replace the high court, indeed, yes. The peso spirals downwards. With political insecurity in Argentina and a massive economic trouble in the German Empire, the peso keeps spiraling downwards, forcing many of our old and powerful companies to close down and lay off thousands of workers. So yeah, we got somewhat of a Great Depression in Argentina. We've got to also demobilize our economy in 66 days, apparently. I don't know why we have partial mobilization, but we do. We need more than 25% war support, so we're going to have to get some more tension to go up. And build up Buenos Aires. Actually, I can build up infrastructure in the demilitarized zones as well, can't I? So I'm just going to build infrastructure everywhere for now. Cordoba and Rosario denounces the Carlos regime. Strongly influenced by the army and remnants of the socialists that haven't fled southwards, the city of Cordoba and Rosario have declared the government in Buenos Aires, incapable of ruling Argentina, have cut all ties with the capital. Alright, and Carlos has decided to invoke the Article 6, so we have to complete the 5-year plan or something, so we need more factories than 40, and a lot of projects need to be finished, or we gain terrible debuffs like losing political power and stability. It's not the end of the world, but we should probably complete it anyway. Okay, so the GOU will side with the Old Guard. Seeing the failures of our movement swiftly establish control of the nation, the GOU has decided to support the counter-revolutionaries and oppose our regime. And fall of Buenos Aires. This guy should probably vanish, I'm guessing. Once I close this and reopen it. Nope, he's still here. ARA surrenders to Pedro Pablo Ramirez. So if the GOU will become the ruling party, we get elections, and we complete the economic control of Argentina. Okay, we'll see what happens. 7 to 10 new divisions will be raised across the country. There we go. I like the funny hat, sir. And we have now a new focus tree unlocked. Send delegations to Germany. We get more political power. Yeah, we got this guy in charge. He's got quite the description to him if you want to read it. It's there. The successful counter-coup. Carlos and his fanatics being deposed. The people are once again free to choose our own destiny. Let us rejoice for the greatness of our republic. Alright, we also got to place divisions on the border of Chile as well, because Chile is socialist and it is a puppet of Patagonia. So, Argentina would have their first election. It would not be tampered with, and the market liberals would gain power. And they're all about capital. And yeah, the military didn't take kindly to it and basically attempted a coup straight after. So we went from a military dictatorship to a civilian government for like 2 months and then back to a military dictatorship again. So over these next few months, nothing much would really happen. I would further my economy, I would build up my army, and would soon be ready to unify Argentina. And to do that, we'd have to declare war on Patagonia, as well as have to fend off from Chile. So we got quite a number of enemies who have more divisions than us and are more industrialized than us. And Paraguay? Well, Paraguay thought it was also a good idea to declare war on us at a least prepared moment. They were striking us from the north, and, well, lucky for me, I had 6 divisions in training, so I just spammed them, and I put them on the front line, because I had no other solution with dealing with Paraguay. At first, the war went in our favour. We started pushing, we took a number of cities and towns in Chile. We even pushed 1 or 2 towns on the Patagonian front. But soon, the war's tide would change. We'd run low on equipment, and the Chileans would start pushing us from about in the middle of the border. So this would extend our front, and we'd have to scurry divisions where we'd need them. I would even have to spam divisions out of my training tab. They were barely trained, and they had so little equipment, so we ended up with a lot of divisions, and, well, lucky for me, the south was rather empty, so I was able just to snake through the Patagonian front lines quite easily. And I was able to capture Patagonia, and then, well, Chile was easy after, since most of the army was from Patagonia, and Patagonia's army just miraculously disappeared into the ether. And that, my friends, is how we won and unified Argentina. But the vision wouldn't stop there. Oh no, the military, they had far larger ambitions for South America. They planned to invade Uruguay next. But the problem is, Brazil guaranteed Uruguay. So that would mean we'd have to beat Brazil in battle. And beating Brazil in battle is no easy feat for Argentina. But in the initial stages of the war, we were fast. We managed to capture various towns and cities and caught the Brazilians unprepared. We managed to encircle much of their army. And with it, Brazil and Uruguay capitulated. So next came the Andeans. Rather a piece of cake, really. They didn't have that many divisions to stop us. And yeah, even though the terrain were mountains, we kind of just exploited the gaps which were open on the front line. We were able to take the capital, and we managed to annex both Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador, because Ecuador was also a bit of Bolivia, Peru. This weird thing to my north. I'm not even really sure what government it is, but we took it out anyway. So we got an opportunity to create a new river plate confederation. So it was like this huge South American country, which just has a nice dark blue color and a very, very long name. It's a very good formable. I'll just get a lot of course on the territory we just conquered, which is cool. And next came Colombia and Venezuela, which were both in the same faction, which I think was pretty lucky. So we managed to get 2 for 1. If we could capitulate Colombia, we could also get Venezuela, which would open to Central America. I did have a bit more difficulty, but with the AI being the AI and not prioritizing the capital, they had 1 division in it, and we simply just knocked it out, and we won. The Germans did collapse, and we did actually get a few German immigrants coming over to Argentina after the surrender, which is rather strange, I'll admit. Alright, so Panama was in Canada's faction. Panama demanded a piece of land in Colombia, I'm guessing. And we refused. Of course we refused, but Panama declared war on us, which basically dragged us in against the Entente. Now, lucky for me, the West Indies also did revolt, so I didn't have to deal with that front line as well. But that would also mean we'd be able to get the West Indies territory in South America, as well as the Netherlands. It's not in a faction either. Yeah, that's the West Indies knocked out of South America pretty much, apart from the port of Spain, but we don't really care about that. Best to have the entire continent now united. And the French declare war on the Russians. Great. Oh no. It's gonna be a big fight, isn't it? My goodness, these factions are crazy. On our own now, the Germans are gone. We've got no other choice but to autark. What's the Russian Republic doing here? Wait, the Russians and the Pacific States are in the same faction. I mean, these are our cores. We control a bit of Brazil, a bit of Bolivia. But yeah, everything else to the north is uncored, which is unfortunate. The naval headquarters and the naval supply hub to get range. We are going to land. It's going to be close. We're going to land here. I think we're going to be able to encircle the canal. Oh wait, we have to take another tile. Okay. There's another tile to take. Then that's the canal encircled. My goodness, that's a small tile. Thought I might have needed the naval invasion, but they are quite weak, so yeah, the job's a good one. Potential enemies Cuba and Republic of Haiti, I don't care. Okay, well that guy landed fine. Trouble in the dockyards. Okay, so the dockyards are in crisis now, but who cares? The army's getting everything. Get that Central America annexed. Good job, lads. Next is going to be probably one of the hardest things. So I decided to declare war on the United States of America because I wanted this playthrough to be wrapped up because, well, I didn't really have any more cores and most of my focus tree was already done, so there's nothing really else to do as this nation. So yeah, enjoy the 1984 map. You got Russia on one side, you got Western Europe, you got some weird Japanese faction, and you got Northern United States versus Southern United States, which is me. And yeah, I don't know, I guess if this video reaches, what, aiming a bit high, let's say 500 likes, and I will return to this damn playthrough and attempt to take Berlin, Germany. Yes, we're going to try to take Germany. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, where we're going to play as Armenia.